Are you ready for a super collaboration? I hope so, because today we're looking at the Dream 9 Toriko x One Piece x DBZ Super Collaboration Special! I've covered all three of the series involved in this special one time or another. One Piece, I did a couple movies and a TV arc, and had trouble retaining them on YouTube. Dragon Ball Z, I did a couple movies and 2 PSAs. And Toriko, I did a general summation of the anime manga at whatever point they were at. All three series I like a lot, though admittingly at the time of the Toriko review, I didn't know that the mangaka for Toriko, Mitsutoshi Shimabukuro, was a diddler. He was arrested in 2002 for soliciting sex to a 16-year-old and was jailed for 2 years. And while he did return to producing manga, he also had one of his other works canned. Whether or not he actually learned not to be a creeper after all this time, or if this is just part of the lax laws that Japan has regarding this sort of thing, at least that's more of a punishment than what Nobuhiro Watsuki ever got, which was a slap on the wrist. Still, I won't force anyone to keep watching this if they feel uncomfortable having to watch something involving the work of a diddler. I'm just here to talk about the silly crossover special Toei did to commemorate the 3rd year of the Toriko anime, which I wish they did a better job of, but I digress. Well, this is the 3rd time One Piece and Toriko did an anime collab together. This is the first time either of them had done so with Dragon Ball, at least in this fashion. Outside the manga, they did some promo ads for Dragon Ball Kai, and if you want to go back even further, there was the Kyutai Panic Adventure interactive feature event held by Fuji TV. One of them even had Astro Boy show up. Both were made before Cross Epoch, by the way, so that's pretty cool. But they never had a home release, so have fun watching them in poor quality. But this won't be in such quality, so let's have some fun with the Super Collab Special, Dream 9. The special is split into 2 halves, the first half being episode 99 of Toriko, named Run, Strongest Team, Toriko, Luffy, and Goku. After the opening, which is Toriko Opening 2, but with footage from the special, we see that IGO, International Gourmet Organization, is setting up a racing tournament for the prize of a legendary meat, carrot sizzled cattle. And among the contestants are some familiar figures that they obscure the faces of, plus Panda Man, because why not? But right as the race begins, oh, well, that's just mean. Of course, this is just to eliminate the fodder so the real heroes can take the stage, since they just avoid it altogether. The first group is the Toriko cast, which in this race includes Toriko, Sunny, Rin, Komatsu, and later we see Lady Setsuno taking part in this. Coco will be in the audience, and heading this event is Director Mansam. The One Piece cast naturally has the Straw Hats, with Robin and Usopp watching the race. Oh hey, continuity! Which is strange all things considered, but anyway, time for the Dragon Ball cast. We have Son Goku, Gohan, Trunks and Goten, Android 18, and Master Roshi competing at first. In the audience we can see Videl, Chi-Chi, Ox King, Boo, Tien, Chaozu, Mr. Popo, Dende, Bulma and her family, Oolong, Yamcha, Puar, Yajirobe, Korin, Krillin, Marin, Piccolo, Mr. Announcer, and of course, Mr. Satan.
Mr. Satan! I love that guy! Dude rules!
So, now for the pointless question of when would this take place? Well, for One Piece, I would imagine any time before Punk Hazard, given how the anime handles the crew leaving Fishman Island. Dragon Ball would have to be in the same time skip period that Super would take place, though either before or just after Battle of Gods. And Toriko would have to be before the Bubble Fruit arc. Anyway, on this dragon-shaped island, there are 3 routes to take to hopefully reach the goal. They can either go through the desert and mountainside, the forest side, or go up past the volcano to reach the center of the island. Outside of flying, any method of travel is allowed. Whoever gets to the goal first wins the meet. It's sad when Toei bothers to have more animal earthlings than in the manga. I still love you, Toriyama. May you rest in peace. Coco explains to Piccolo and Krillin about the carrot-sizzled cattle and what its meat is like. As with the series, it's all about making the food seem awesome. Of course, Nami wants the bones of it because... everyone ends up splitting up at the fork, allowing everyone to mix and mingle a bit. Sanji gets stuck with Gohan, Komatsu, and Setsuno as they run into a brimming baboon. While Gohan wants to fight, Setsuno suggests they feed it in order to get by. So the three chefs cook food for it, off screen, and they're able to get by. Time is short, so I guess some corners need to be cut. Meanwhile, we see some of the desert group consisting of Rin, Nami, Roshi, and Brook. The correct response in this situation seems Frankie is interested in 18 because she's kind of like him, being mechanical and all. Further ahead, Sunny is with the Saiyan kids and Chopper. The kids decide to perform fusion and become Gotenks. Chopper, of course, fawns over this. All the while, the three leads are climbing the volcano. Luffy and Toriko are impressed at Goku's abilities, which is fair even if this is their first time meeting him. In a bit of a random moment, King Kai contacts Goku about some evil threat in space, which causes Goku to instant transmission out for a bit, greatly confusing the others. Meanwhile, we see Tina and her pet Krupo getting footage of Zoro, who is once again lost and confused. He has a run-in with Zebra, who is considered a really big deal to the people of Toriko, and both are about to go up against Vegeta, who wasn't even told about this tournament, probably because he'd blow it up or something. Either way, it's a fight between the second best in the cast. Which we won't see, because they aren't the focus of this special. Instead, we cut to the stadium where all three leads are racing to the prize, and they all end up grabbing the pole at the same time, which means... oh, and of course Mr. Satan gets caught up inside, so he's technically part of this fight too. Still, the main event is three gluttons, two of whom are muscly and one can stretch. At least we get to see some of their fighting techniques, like Luffy's Gum Gum Headbutt and Toriko's Spiked Punch. Seems they like to gang up on Goku, since he's technically the bigger threat to them, but they do try going for each other, so it's not a complete one-sided thing. Still, having been spoiled on the animation quality that the recent Dragon Ball movies and One Piece anime have, I do wish this special would have had a nicer quality to it. Toei can do some good stuff, even if they, like other studios, push their artists too far, but their approach to their shows tend to be poor, especially in this era. The three get serious, with Toriko unleashing his appetite demon, Luffy going gear 3rd with Haki, and Goku going Super Saiyan. Luffy and Toriko try attacking Goku as he unleashes his Kamehameha, which seems to blow up most of the arena. All three are out of bounds, and the only one left is... It's funny for the Satan chant. Well, on the plus side, he's agreed to share the meat with the three groups. And yeah, look at that meat. It looks yummy, and the bone really does look like diamonds. Truly a happy ending for all. Wait, what? What do you mean, Man Sam? Oh my god, what the hell is that? We'll find out in part 2, which makes up for episode 590 of One Piece, called History's Strongest Collaboration vs. Glutton of the Sea. Unlike the other half, this one actually got an English dub, 10 years after it's been released. Now, this is due to Funimation giving up the license to the Toriko anime years before they merged with Crunchyroll. And I mean, they didn't get that far with Toriko, so there was no sense in doing it, I guess. And even though 2 of these series are owned by Crunchyroll, and their name shows up in the credits, it doesn't even show up on there, but rather Hulu. You figure that one out. Still, at least we get to hear the English cast for Toriko, which I hadn't seen at the time, like Ian Sinclair as Toriko, Josh Grelle as Komatsu, Aaron Roberts as Sunny, Gerard Green as Coco, and even though Zebra only has a brief appearance in the second half, because Funimation didn't get to him, he was given the voice of Alejandro Saab. Wendy Powell also replaces Julie Erickson as the voice of Setsuno, while Brian Mathis voices Man-Sam. The rest of the cast is presumably the same team that's worked on One Piece and Dragon Ball Media in recent years. But I won't go any further because that will take us a while. Anyway, the competitors and any family they have are invited to eat together at this rather large table. How are you going to get to some of the food? Lots of different food, but more importantly, the carrot sizzled cattle. Toriko has everyone do the thanks for the meal thing he does before taking the bite and savoring the flavor it brings.
Oh God! First bite was exploding with flavor! You put the meat in your mouth and the juice just hits you like a tidal wave!
He almost leans into his Ronaldo voice from The Vampire Dies in No Time. Everyone has their own comments about this, with some small interactions like Boo turning Frankie's meal into cola, or Brooks' bone jokes. Toriko says that while the meal is great, what's even better is being able to share it with friends. That's nice. Seems Mr. Satan agrees.
'Cause the finest meal is better when you've got some good friends to eat with. Yeah.
So the secret is exactly what Toriko just said.
Anyway, Coco, Robin, and Piccolo meet with Man-Sam because they were wondering why he invited so many powerful people here. He explains that he assembled everyone here because he wants them to hunt down a certain creature.
This whole shindig together as a way to draw out an alchemy.
An alchemy? You're fishing for monsters with us as bait?
And sure enough, it appears. And it's so freaking adorable. How can this thing be a glutton of the sea? Anyway, Mr. Satan and Usopp think it's harmless and get near it, only for it to start attacking. Gohan tries to stop it, but he and the others get grabbed by its tentacles. It absorbs their life energy, which lets it grow bigger, and after some attacks are thrown at it, it runs away.
You okay?
I'm fine. But for some reason, I can't draw out any of my power.
Maybe that's why you were so useless before the Tournament of Power. You had your power sucked out. They have to hunt down the Akemi and feed it to its victims within a half hour, or they...
If we don't deal with this alchemy here, we'll eventually wolf down every living creature on the face of the planet.
You know, in hindsight, I think Toriko liked to overplay their creatures prior to the gourmet world, because let me tell you, the things I've seen would blow this creature out of the water. They split into groups. We first see Sanji arguing with Sunny over petty looks, before engaging with the monster. Piccolo joins in to keep them in line, but no matter how strong their attacks are, the Akemi manages to grab them for their energy. The second group seems to be comprised of Goten, Trunks, Coco, and Brook, as they run between waterfalls. Brook is immediately taken out, though he's just bones, so he'll be fine. But the creature has gotten even bigger. Coco tries using his poison powers against it, but...
Oh, fudge!
Oh, that's a funny line read. The Saiyan boys perform fusion to become Gotenks again, but then is interrupted by Frankie from inside the General Frankie. Oh yeah, and since it's a robot, it can't lose energy. Frankie did a smart thing.
I've got everything I need to fry this fish.
A slobber ghost? Ew!
But of course, they fail too, and they get their energy sucked. This whole time, the 3 leads are looking all over the island for it, with no luck. Now it took out 2 groups worth of people, So it's become a big tuna, according to the subs. The three leads rejoin, hoping to take down this creature together and savor the best parts of the fish. Needless to say, they seem to have saved the best animation for this fight.
36-fold twin spike punch!
Seems the creature got even bigger thanks to eating the damage it took for energy. So now even its tentacles have mouths. It even has super speed and energy attacks like in Dragon Ball. Toriko believes that if they can hit it with enough attacks at once, it will overpower it before it can eat it. Goku overhears this and asks them to distract the creature while he performs the Spirit Bomb.
The Spirit Bomb? That thing never works.
This one will! As long as everyone on the planet agrees to cooperate and work together.
Of course, we only ever see him take energy from their friends. Also, if we're talking everyone on the planet, I think you would have a lot more than what is depicted here, since it must be a super planet that has all the One Piece characters, all the Toriko characters, and all the Dragon Ball characters. Try stuffing all that in your fan wikis. Anyway, it doesn't help that the thing is actively absorbing the Spirit Bomb energy, but after their friends supply their energy, he gets what he needed.
Comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes! Now chew on this!
Tastes like blueberry. However, Luffy and Toriko begin beating on the creature long enough for Goku to go Super Saiyan 3 and deliver the final Kamehameha. Well, they won. Now they can cook its remains, and unfortunately they seem to have run out of budget because it's mostly stills for this scene. I'll just pretend that it's animated, and it enhances the moment of having all three series and their characters together for something fun. But we're still missing something. Whatever happened to Zoro and the others?
Wait! Are those three still off beating each other up?
So, that was Dream 9. Honestly, it is a fun collab event, though I can't say it aged well. And no, it's not because of the baggage from Toriko's mangaka. I mean with how it's presented. Even before 2013, it felt like Toei wasn't giving it all with their animation. Whether due to budget or just how they treat their animators with some of their big IPs. Even here, they don't take full advantage of having this many characters together at once. It's mostly just so the three main leads can get together and fight, either against each other or in a team-up. While that itself has given me some enjoyable material, I wish the others had a bit more to do. And again, the movies and the recent Wano arc spoiled me on Toei's art direction these days, and it makes me wish this came out much later. I would love to see Gear 5 Luffy be paired with Ultra Instinct Goku, and maybe post-God Meal Toriko, but I also would like to see Bulma share adventure stories with Robin, Usopp getting hero tips from Krillin, Coco and Piccolo chilling out, and most importantly, having the second best characters, like Zoro and Vegeta, actually do something together instead of off-screening it for most of the run. Some of the stuff in the first half is a good start, but really flesh that shit out in the second half. Of course, I wouldn't mind if they decided to adapt Cross CPAC, but updated with currently known characters from Dragon Ball Super and One Piece. All things considered, I do miss the animated crossovers, and I think they can make them work in this current era of Toei productions. It just won't be the same without Toriyama. He really inspired many artists and creators with his various works, and it's always cool whenever he got involved with other creators. At the very least, a whole generation of new viewers are getting shown to more than just Dragon Ball, what with Sandland getting an anime and video game adaptation that he got to at least work on. No matter what, his legacy will live on, and no doubt we'll continue to get fun crossovers like this one at some point in the future. Until then, we just gotta take what we got. I'm the Media Hunter. Media's my prey, and reviewing them my way.